good evening, and good evening. Welcome to an episode of the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, where I'm your host, Michelle Bolden Hammond. And listen, tonight we have one of our frequent flyers. My sister here, Charlene Harrod-Owuamana, is here with us tonight. And since this is February, we talk about all the love, what's the matter. So the question tonight is, what's the matter with your heart? What is the matter of your heart? Because we know that there is a lot of people here who got some issues with the heart, but we also want to have her here because she's a nurse in her profession, the nurseologist. I'm glad to have you here, Charlene, but she's also going to be telling us some things that we can do for heart health and how to remain healthy, not just for this month, but February, the heart. We think that's a real good reason. So what's the matter with your heart? So welcome, Charlene. Good to have you here, my friend.
Thank you. And thank you, Michelle, for bringing me on the show. It has been a long time coming. And what perfect month to do this than in February, where heart health is so important. They always say that the home is where the heart is. So that's where I'm going to start off. Some people are at greater risk than others when it comes down to heart health. Heart health always connect with other diseases within the body, such as diabetes. An increased risk of heart disease also affects most groups, such as Black Americans, Asian Americans, Latino Americans, and Native Americans, because they have a greater risk of diabetes. So, what we're going to talk about a little bit more is the common symptoms of having a heart attack. Some people just say, I got indigestion, I have chest pains. It could very well be those things that are going on. But what we need to do is start to educate our community so that they can be more abreast on what heart health is all about.
So
If you
Charlene,
shall feel any pressure or tightness,
you went out, Charlene.
keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
Oh, I stopped talking. I heard you say something.
Oh, okay, because I think we kind of delayed.
Okay, feeling pressure and tightness. Oh, yeah, it is. How you gonna fix this?
It's perfect on my
Okay,
end,
I'm gonna
but
keep going. Okay, common symptoms of heart attack may include feeling pressure in your chest. It could be chest pains, it could be pains in your arm. Most of the time they say pains on your left arm is more so prevalent to heart having heart trouble. But what I say is, if you're having pain anywhere in your chest, down either arm, and you just don't feel right, if you break out in a sweat, that's also a suggestion that you need to go be seen. The other thing is nausea and indigestion. Everybody takes heart problems and get it twisted with having indigestion. If you have indigestion, chest pains, chest tightness, cold sweats, feeling tired, lightheaded, you need to be seen by a doctor, because that's very important that you be seen.
speaking of that, Charlene, you had mentioned about indigestion. Now, let me say this. A couple months back, I had a real bad case of acid reflux, a real bad case where I had to go to the hospital. I thought I was having a heart attack, but it was a real bad case of acid reflux. But like you said, to do the prevention, if you have any type of symptoms, you rather go than just say, "Oh, take a let me take an antacid." to try to help this. But you brought up a good fact, because that's me. I went straight because I was in pain, but it was the acid reflux, a real severe case that I had. Thank goodness for that.
And see, the problem with women is we have breasts in front of our heart organs, which means we're not going to feel it at the same time that a male feels it because he just have muscle. So, with us having tissues in front of our heart, we really need to go and be seen by a provider, because it's very important that if you have any type of heart trouble, whether it be diabetes, whether you think you're having a stroke, immediate care is so important. And that's where we miss the mark. We miss the mark because we try to fix ourselves instead of letting the professionals fix us. And that is why I say that if you feel anything that feels different, you need to go and be checked out by a healthcare provider.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct on that. Um, again, this is the perfect segue in when you said the differences between males and females. The heart attacks are different. Sometimes women will have it. Is that true? That women will have it and don't even know that they didn't have it.
And the reason being is because, again, like I said, we have tissues in front of our heart, and then we have our skeletal system, and then we have our cardiac system. So, what it is so important that women take that special initiative to go see what's going on because of those tissues being in place. And the most important piece to this is if you have any other underlining causes, you really truly need to be seen. They take blood work, they can do x-rays, they can do certain blood work that can tell them whether you're having a cardiac event or not. And we just can't make that decision on our own at home.
And you take, like you said, something that's very important. Cause I want you. Is this a myth or a foe? Because when people are having heart attacks, and I know we all trying to get the best care we can for our loved ones. Now, is it correct that we should not put them in the car and drive to the hospital? We should do what?
We should call 911. 911 has been placed in motion to get you services while you're at home. The difference between putting someone in your car means that they're not getting any medical attention. Yes, it may seem like it's taking 911 a little time to get there, but that time that it takes for them to get from their location to your home and give you medications until you arrive at the doctor's is so important. And that's what you don't have when you're in the car. So it's very important that you utilize 911 first and foremost, especially for adults. Adults need to get care as soon as possible. And that is the reason why. But my problem is most people worry about paying on the back end for those emergency services. For me, paying for those emergency services or thinking about paying for those emergency services after you have been seen, because that is the most important care that you can receive.
Now, when you're saying paying on the actual back end of services, you're absolutely correct. Because in some cases, most of the time, if it's state insurance, that is not a billable service for the getting the medical 911. That's an extra fee that's added on, and so many people are strapped now with bills that's doable with the economy, how the economy is. A lot of people we like, well, the extra cost, because I've seen it done in my profession where people will just, I'll just get in the car and go. But that's the worst thing that you could do. It'll come if you have to take it. You said it right correctly. you need that 911 battle medical team, because if the case something happened, they can work right on you on there. Now, supposedly you're riding in the car and there's a traffic jam. And then who's ever driving you, they're already panicking enough. Then what if they and be in a cycle of an accident? Not to say God forbid, but those are some of the things that we got to think about when we moving into the realm of what not to do and what to do safely as in a part of heart health care. So we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna be right back. And when we come back, we're gonna be talking about some things that you can do to keep a healthy heart on. Okay, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul. I am your host, Michelle Bolden Hammond. And that there you just saw was my sponsorship from Dr. Jennifer Jones Bryant. We want to thank her so much for her donation and her sponsorship for our upcoming Warm Your Heart, Warm Your Mind, and Warm Your Soul retreat that'll be coming up in March the 22nd through the 24th. So, yes, we are here tonight with my guest, Charlene Harrod-Owuamana, who is here tonight talking about heart health. So, we just talked about a couple of things, do's and the don'ts and the do's. So, how can you keep a healthy heart?
Okay, so one of the things in order to keep a healthy heart is to be sure and see your primary care doctor. If you don't have one, all you have to do is go to your local hospital and they can set you up with a primary care provider that can help you. And I want everybody to know, if you're not comfortable with the primary care provider that you have, you can always change to a new primary care. That is the greatest thing in healthcare. If you're not comfortable with that provider and that provider is not giving you what you need, you can always change providers. But my main concern is that people believe that they are healthy, and if they're healthy, then why should I go to the doctors? I'm going to give you some reasons why. Now, back in the day, healthcare was stacked up and layered for us. If you didn't have any health conditions, you know that you go to the doctors once a year because you have to get that physical. Then, if you have any other underlying causes, then you went to the hospital. You went to your primary care like every 6 months. Now that people are aging older, and they have more underlying conditions, it's more feasible for you to go see your doctor 4 times a year if you have underlying conditions. If you don't have any health issues, being as though we have so many underlying conditions coming up, for the average healthy adult, you should go see your doctor twice a year. Twice a year, you should set on your calendar, whether it be the first 3 months of the year and then 3 months in the middle of the year, that you would go see your doctor. So I would say you would go either January, February, or March, make your first visit. Your second visit you should go is between August, September, and October. You should make those a priority for you to see your primary care. That's because if anything was to come up in between the beginning of the year and the end of the year, you and your primary care can have all of that taken care of. Now, if you're a person who have underlying causes or a lot of underlying issues, I believe that you should go according to your doctor. Sometimes your doctor bring you in once a month so that they can run lab work, so that they can be on top. And it's important. This is so important that I want you guys to know. Know your numbers. Your primary care can give you a copy of all of your labs every time you go. So when they call you on the phone and say, I want you to take this medicine because your cholesterol is high and I need you to bring your cholesterol down, you can say, wait a minute, let me go get my labs that you gave me last month and tell me what they are this month and why you think I should be taking that medicine. Instead of you just getting that prescription from that doctor, telling the doctor you're going to get the prescription filled, never fill a prescription, never take the medication. And guess what? 3 months later, you're in the emergency room because your cholesterol is too high. So, yes, before and in the earlier days, back in the 60s, doctors were being doctors. They were really following us, they were really calling us, they were really doing everything. Now that we are in the computer age in a new generation, you know, you have to be a self advocate for yourself. And that's where I find it a little difficult telling people to be a self advocate.
So in the realm of these questions, if you have any questions, look on the screen, the nurses lounge at gmail.com. I'm going to tell you she's proficient, she's profound, and she is absolutely correct when it comes down to where we are in the grace of self-advocacy. Charlene is a beater for that. I will tell you, she will go to bat for you. And, just for herself, we can say she's a champion because she wouldn't be in the condition that she would be in because she's been self advocating for herself, dealing with certain things. It will behoove us too. And you brought up the one factor me about the cholesterol, because I always was told if you take the cholesterol, you're gonna constantly have to take it for the rest of your life. Is that fact or faux?
Well, I can't give any medical advice, but what I can tell you, if you go to your primary care, they will let you know in detail how long you have to take that medication. That medication should be taken as long as your provider ordered it because they can do lab work to find out if you need to continue to take it. But if you have to take it for the rest of your life, what I also want you to add to that is being willing to change your diet, being willing to, try some of the new 1800 calorie diets that the provider offer you to take in conjunction with your medicine. Medicine, exercise, and great health includes great heart health is what we should be doing, because our heart don't only run on medication, it don't only run on our diet, it don't only run on our sleep habits, it run in conjunction. You have to have all of those avenues together in order to have a healthy heart.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. So, we talk about what is the matter of your heart. So, it's very difficult for the males to want to go get those checkups. So, if any male is watching tonight, so boo, let me call the males boo, boo. We know not all. I can't say all, but I do know that some males do not like going to the doctors. So, and it can be detrimental to your health because you can have this one strong guy. I can tell you that I had a classmate who was 16 years old, and I will never give. I was always traumatized about that. I had a classmate years ago, almost 40 some years ago, died at 16 years old of a heart attack.
Mhm.
16 years old. So I'm just saying, especially for our youth, because we eat a lot of unhealthy meals, just unhealthy meals. And we're seeing that younger people now are usually dying from heart attacks and stuff when you didn't used to see that. But now you're seeing it, and this all goes back now. You said it, 1,800 calorie diets. They can work. Sometimes we got to set back from that meat. Like I said before, I'm actually going to have my friend Tanya back on here, where one week of the month, I at least do a meatless week at all. I'm trying to work on it, but just do that one meatless, or just do that as you don't even hear it anymore. It used to be a meatless Monday that you would do to fix, but there's a lot of nice menus. During the beginning of the year, a lot of people in churches and stuff do the Daniel fast and stuff like that. But it's very healthy for you to try to do those type of things, because if you think about it, and I'm not a person against medication, let me put that disclaimer. If you got to take your medication, you take your medication. But we can have a lot of interventions in, as you said, exercise and eating right, get off the salt. A lot of those things are factors that can help with intervention with our heart health. Um, Now, Charlene, I want to tell you what I've learned here since I've been doing this naturopathic class, and that some flowers actually help with heart health.
Yes, that is true. And not only flowers, herbs. They
Yep.
recommend that you use fresh herbs for your meals versus using powder form. A lot of people go out and buy seasonal, buy sage that come in a little container. No, buy the fresh herbs and add them to your food. I will guarantee you that the taste is like out of this
Better-
world
better
that you would
before,
get
yeah.
from adding those fresh herbs. And everybody think fresh herbs cost a lot. Well, guess what? You can also go to your local store like Walmart and buy seeds and plant your own herbs and do a herb garden in your kitchen. That is the correct temperature for them to grow, and you can just pinch a piece off and add to your meals as you go along, and that is the greatest best health heart is using herbs. But what I want to tell you with using these herbs is you really have to let your doctor know what herbs you're using, because it goes back to medication. And some medications you can only use a certain amount of herbs or not at all. So when you're going to your primary care, and this is the reason why we should be visiting them quite frequently. Most people think they're visiting them just for them to bill an insurance company. No, you're visiting them not only for heart health, but for health in general.
Exactly. Exactly. So Charlene has been here with us tonight. She's gathering us, telling us what about our heart health. Now, Charlene, are there any of, because I know you do a lot of stuff in the community. I know you reach out in the community. So what are you doing this month, just especially for heart health? Are there any events that you're hosting? Because I know you do a lot of events, and I know you do a lot of advocating for your people. Is there anything that you have coming up?
So for February, I am a part of a sorority called Lambda Psi Nu, which is the first LPN sorority that has now started in 2019. So I am the president for the Maryland chapter. So we are available throughout Maryland to come to a facility near you to talk about heart health. If you would send me an email, let me know what community needs information on heart health in February. I'm quite sure that our chapter can visit a community center in your area and let you, bring pamphlets, take blood pressure. We'll also bring gifts. We'll bring games that they can play to, answer about heart health. It is so important in the month of February that we get this right, not just for, adults, for kids as well. Our kids are out here playing sports, and I'm not knocking kids playing sports, and I love sports moms. But sport moms, you need to also get your kids into those pediatricians and get their heart checked so that they can be sure that they are safe out there on those fields, because we need more we need more sports players to be out in the community sharing their wealth, and not only that, sharing their true stories about how they got started. I think more of our athletes need to come forward to share with our young people about heart health and how their transition and the problems that they came across in their sports arena, so that our kids will know how important heart health is for them as well.
Well, thank you very much. Again, everyone, if you have any questions for my sister friend here, Charlene, here is her email, the nurses lounge at gmail.com. And Charlene, I am hoping that your group and your ladies will be joining us, because that'll be something special to add to our Polished, Passionate Employees Mental Health Forum as well, for you guys to come and do some heart checks. Do some blood pressures and stuff like that. So I hope you could be in the building on February the 17th for our movie screening. And we're having popcorn and stuff like that too. So hopefully you'll be able to come and bring the group down for that to be our community event, because it's a community event. So
Okay, thank you, Michelle, and I want to thank you for allowing me to come on your platform to share with you about heart disease. And we're having a meeting later today, and we're going to talk about your event. And at your event, are you going to have some fresh fruits and vegetables?
you know what? We definitely are. Well, at the retreat we are. So we're
Yes.
we're actually we're actually gonna have good food at the retreat. So I'm excited
Okay.
about that. And I'm glad that you're joining again this year.
Yes.
So yeah, we still have a few spots left for the retreat again for that. So you don't want to miss, because we had an awesome time. We have an awesome time every year, but this year's theme is the inner child experience. So we got some nice creative ways. This is the very first time that we're having a male at the retreat.
Men's
So
health, men's health.
So Nigel will be there for the mental health piece. Nigel Birch and Natasha Helwig. They're coming all the way in from Toronto, Canada, as my two guests, keynotes. And I have another one, Kat Daly, who will be a speaker, and Selena Robinson. So yes, and we have some other factors of other people that's going to be taken apart. We're going to have someone there doing some reflexology, all of that type of stuff. So yeah, we have a real rounded time of it coming up. So Charlene, is there any one little thing that you would like to leave with the audience tonight before we cap out?
Please, please know your numbers and visit your primary care more than twice a year to be sure that you have a healthy heart.
All right, you have heard it from my guest. So, we have a mantra here. I have one mantra that's coming in from Davis David Smith. Sorry, David Smith. So he says, awesome is your story. Awesome is how great you be. Awesome is your story to go togetherly. Oh, so that was from David Smith. He is actually in Orlando, Florida. So yeah, that's the second person who has tuned in and wrote in for a mantra to end the show. So again, thank you, David Smith from Orlando, Florida. I tell you, people are watching from all over the world here. So again, until next week, we want to tell you, take it light and continue to carry with the matters of your heart. Until next week, take care.